So the next lesson is about the idea of yield. We've discussed yield previously. It was in the very first lesson we spoke about. Yield was this column here. And we discussed it as, that's how much money you get back in dividends compared to how much you spent. Right now, it's just a percentage. The higher percentage, the better. Now we're actually going to calculate it. Okay? So there's two ways that you calculate yield. There's exact yield. This compares the total yearly income from your dividends to the cost of buying the shares in the first place. Why does it take longer? Because you need to work out dividends paid, and you have to do a cost of buying and then use this formula. So please get at least that formula down. So that's finding the exact yield. You need to do two calculations. Approximate yield, that's what you actually see in that table that I showed you before. That's what you see in the share listings. It only compares dividend per share to the current value of the shares as a percentage. So we call it approximate because you're not finding brokerage and GST. You're fudging it a little bit. So approximate yield, get that formula down. Approximate yield, dividend per share divided by current value of shares times by 100%. Get those two, please, and the example, and then I'll show you how the example works. Hopefully that's long enough to get the two formula. Example, investor bought 7,500. We don't care that it's origin for maths wise. They were $2.92 each. Brokerage is 2%. Do you get a choice in GST? It's 10% in Australia. And then they paid a dividend of 9 cents per share. So how do we calculate the exact yield? I need the annual dividends paid. Annual div paid. How many shares did this guy have? 7,500. What dividend did Origin pay? 9 cents. What would that be as dollars though? 0.09. 7,500 times 0.09. He would have gotten $675 that year. Now I need the cost of buying the shares in the first place. Third lesson down, we did cost of buying. Cost of buying What are the three parts to a buying calculation? The consideration will be $7,500 times by $2.92. 7,500 times 2.92, 21,900. Second part of a buying calculation. What is the fee you have to pay? Yep. Brokerage, It's 2%, so 2% is a decimal, 0.02 times by 21,900 times by 0.02, $438. And GST, 10% of 438, 0.1 times 438 is going to be $43.80. So the total cost, 80, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 2. It's going to cost you $22,381.80 in total. I have the numbers I need to find the exact yield. Exact yield equals the dividend paid, 675 over the cost, 22381.8, times it by 100%, 675 divided by 22381.8, times by 100, 3.02. Right, some time to get that example down for exact yield. You can see it takes a lot of maths, but no maths that we haven't done previously. Alright, so finishing it off, we just did the exact yield. Why is it exact? Because we're working out how much did it cost to buy them. We worked out how much you actually got paid in dividends. Approximate yield, we ignore half of that information. You just go, what's the, what does it say? Dividend per share. The dividend per share was 9 cents, 0.09, over current value of the shares, which was $2.92. Times that by 100%. 0.09 divided by 2.92 times by 100%. 3.08% to 2 decimal points. Could someone possibly explain to me why the approximate yield is larger? Why is it being... There's other people in the class. Why is it larger?
Because it doesn't factor in like the cost of...
Yes. When you're doing this maths here, did you do brokerage and GST at all? No. So you're ignoring the fact that you had to pay $438 for a guy to do something for you and $43.80 to the government. Your money didn't actually grow that much. Okay? So this is close, but it's false. 3.02 is the real thing. Okay? So now and for homework, I know you've only got like 15 minutes to go. At 7D4, questions 1 and 4, please. 3 answers to that.